All right, so with the Oklahoma City Thunder playing so well right now, and that's even coming off a loss to the best team in the NBA, of course, by record, the Cleveland Cavaliers. A lot of Oklahoma City Thunder fans are kind of like myself asking the question, when are we going to start to see some of these guys that haven't been suited up for the Thunder in a while actually make their grand triumphant return to the court for the Oklahoma City Thunder? So, of course, today we got to talk about the one that I think everybody as a Thunder fan is watching right now, and that is going to be Chet Holmgren. But we're going to talk about Alex Caruso and as well as AJ Mitchell. So join the discussion, jump in the comments below, give me your thoughts. And if you guys have not already and you're new to the channel, make sure you guys wipe your feet and hit that like and hit the subscribe button. We want you guys to be a part of the community here, especially as we reach for 2,000 subs. You guys have tremendously grown this account pretty quickly. So we would like to get to the 2,000 sub mark, and then from there, we'll just see where it's going to go. But I was sitting back, and as I watched the Oklahoma City Thunder just completely dismantle the Wizards in a 136-95 win. And then, of course, you watch them also blow out the New York Knicks 126-101. After a loss at Cleveland, you really started to ask yourself, how good can this team be once they get some of these key pieces back that currently aren't suited up for the Thunder? Because as of right now, the Thunder are 32-6. They're the number one team in the West by a country mile. They're number one in their division. They're the second best team in the entire league. And it feels like the Thunder, it just, you keep asking yourself, can they actually get better? And I mean, the simple answer is yes. After you watched them play the Cleveland Cavaliers, you had to ask yourself, what would this team look like with a guy like Chet Holmgren on the floor, so that you can either kind of sub out those minutes between him and Hartenstein so that, Isaiah is not playing the entire game, or maybe it's when it comes down the stretch in the final minutes of the game against a team like Cleveland who has the size, you can roll out both of those guys, and Chet can be a guy that can also stretch the floor for you, so you don't just have two big men clogging up the lane. Like, I think that's probably the most exciting piece of this equation for Oklahoma is we haven't got to see Chet and Isaiah Hartenstein together on the floor yet, and I think you really want to see those two there. You want to see what those lineups are going to look like, and you want to see it mesh together. Now, the good news is you're starting to see Chet travel a little bit. You're starting to see him move around in some of those pregame warmups and do some things like that. So, we're at the 8 to 10 week mark. So you would think we should be having an update soon on when he would be returning, or kind of an update on his status. But, if you can get him back, maybe a little bit before the All-Star break, get him some reps in, get him some actual games in the system, and then give him like another week off for the All-Star break, and then get him back after. I feel like that would be a pretty good scenario for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Obviously, you don't want to rush him back too early, especially with the way that the team is playing right now. You don't necessarily need to rush him back. You're not in a dire need situation. But, when you come down to March and you're having to play the Denver Nuggets twice in a week, you want to have both of those big men healthy for you, because Jokic is going to be difficult to cover 2 times in a week for Hartenstein or anybody else who will have that role. Now, additionally, you look at a guy like Alex Caruso, and he might be able to return a little bit quicker for the Oklahoma City Thunder. He just signed that extension here, but he's been one of the best defensive guards here in the modern NBA. And although he's in his limited time with Oklahoma City, averaging about 5.5 points and 2.9 rebounds in just 20 games, Caruso is the guy that you pair him with the Cason Wallace and the Lou Dort against some of these teams like the Cleveland Cavaliers who have exceptional guard play. It just allows you to go a little deeper into your bench playoffs, where most teams, you're going to really see them probably go about 8 people deep on their bench, 7 to 8 people on their bench. Oklahoma City, when they get to the playoffs, might be able to go 8, 9, maybe even 10 players deep in their bench, especially with the way Aaron Wiggins is playing. Oklahoma City is going to have a tremendous depth going into the playoffs. And I think that's going to play to their advantage in a mighty way. So you could see Alex Caruso potentially back a little bit faster. You've seen him taking some shots in those pregame warmups. So I think that's the one you eye and target. But the other one that you saw get injured a couple weeks ago was AJ Mitchell. And, his timetable does not give you any confidence that he could potentially be returning this season. And the reason why that is because with the timetable that he's given right now, with absolutely no setbacks, he could be back right before the playoffs. And that means he's going to have to go in there and shake off some rust. And I don't know if you want a guy shaking off rust during a playoff run, which Oklahoma City will likely be trying to go all the way to the NBA Finals. I'm assuming that's everybody's expectations at this point. And you would imagine by that point, Sam Presti will have likely made another move, whether that's getting rid of a Kenrich Williams, a Ousmane Deng, or I've seen a lot of you guys saying we should pair Topic in that deal versus an Aaron Wiggins or an Isaiah Joe, and that would work. Topic does have I think some appeal to the Brooklyn Nets because he is young. I just thought, hey, like maybe you don't want to give up a guy like that yet. But if it gets you a guy like Cam Johnson, maybe you do that. And then again, it adds more depth to the Oklahoma City Thunder. It adds another scorer in there in case somebody's having an off night. Maybe Cam Johnson could come in there. And for the people who think he can't play defense, he can. So we can talk about trade stuff in another video. But with AJ Mitchell potentially being out for the rest of the season, which is what I would expect with his injury and the timeline of his injury, not being able to pretty much come back a month before the playoffs, which is what I realistically think you would need. It's going to be interesting to see kind of how Oklahoma City manages those rotations, but also, can Caruso stay healthy for the rest of the season so that, maybe a Mitchell being out for the rest of the year does not take as big of a blow to you as I think it could. So join the discussion, jump in the comments below, give me your guys' thoughts. And if you guys have not already, make sure you guys hit that like and hit that subscribe button.